Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? It is Dallas week. This game on Sunday is life or death when it comes to the Eagles season. This is my first conversation about this game, and as the week goes on, feelings will change, emotions will change, absolutely. But as of right now, I don't feel great about it. I just don't feel great about it. Monday is the time to react to what occurred on Sunday. But it's a quick switch. It is a quick flip when it comes to this week. Normally, Monday, Tuesday, you still embrace what occurred on Sunday, but not this week. No, because for the last few games, this fan base has been somewhat realizing what the big picture was. The big picture was always Dallas. Get to Dallas. That Dallas game will mean so much. Even early in the season, 5, 6, 7 weeks in, it was marked on the calendar saying, it's going to come down to this. No matter what, it's going to come down to this. And it's just so funny how it does play out that way. Both squads are 7-7 for a reason. They underachieve at times, they overachieve at times. You look at the Eagles. Did they overachieve in Green Bay? In Buffalo? Did they underachieve in Miami? Well, then look at the Dallas Cowboys. Did they underachieve against the Jets? They definitely overachieved against the Rams. So there's a reason why both of these squads are 7-7. They haven't been able to fully put it together consistently. And it comes down to one game. So two inconsistent teams that are 500 come together for a playoff spot, essentially. I know the Eagles have to do more than just win this game, but if they lose, it's completely over. All Dallas has to do is win. The Eagles need to win out. I don't feel great about it, and I'll tell you why. But before I do, I need to let you know about the promo code BROADS that you can use at SeatGeek's checkout page for $20 off of your total purchase. So I'm essentially giving you free parking. I'm essentially giving you a beer and a half. And I'm sorry, I wish I can give you more, but the prices are just so damn expensive. I'm essentially giving you free food. I mean, it's a no-brainer to use the promo code BROADS today. So as I stated, as the week goes on, I can change how I feel. But on this Tuesday, this is how I feel. They are not a better team than the Dallas Cowboys when it comes to talent. When you look at Dak Prescott, Zeke, Amari Cooper, Gallup, Randall Cobb. They also have another running back outside of Ezekiel Elliot, okay? When you look at their defense, I mean, they are better. That's what it is. It doesn't mean the Eagles can't win, though, at home. I love the fact that it's at home because if it was in Dallas, I would really write the Eagles off. I'm not confident with the defense. When you look at how this defense has played against specific receivers this year, bigger receivers, not saying bigger in body size, bigger in height. I'm talking about more along the lines as big name players, players who go out there and compete and make things happen every single week. They don't do well. They allow receivers to have over 100-plus yards. They allow 40-plus yard plays consistently, and it's a joke, and it has to stop. Why would it stop this week? I mean, I'm here to tell you that I don't think it will. So if this Cowboys offense is able to thrive and get going, well, that's a problem. See, the Eagles offense is gelling right now. And it's gelling with, believe it or not, one wide receiver making plays, a running back who is a rookie, and then two tight ends. That's what the Eagles offense is gelling with. If it comes down to a shootout, there's no way in hell. If the Cowboys put up 35 points, there's no way in hell the Eagles win this game. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Carson Wentz. He needs to play good. He needs to make simple throws. He can't be putting the football on the field. So he needs to be at his best and elevate that offense. There's no denying it. But I just think it's unfair at times that quarterbacks, Carson Wentz, get criticized when they play well enough. For example, Miami, you score 30-something points. Your defense gets abused every single time they're on the field. That's a problem. Even against the Redskins, every single time the Eagles offense scored, every time, they would go downfield, the Redskins would, on the defense and score. And in some spots, bang, one play, Terry McLaurin, 70-plus yards, right? So I think it's unfair. This isn't to make excuses for Carson Wentz if things go bad. He needs to play very well. If he puts up 35 points, but the Eagles lose because the defense is atrocious and Jim Schwartz, Ronald Darby, and Jalen Mills can't put it together, I don't blame Carson Wentz, even though people going into this will say it's his biggest game of his career, which we have heard, by the way, 6 times so far this season? Not that I disagree with that narrative for this week, because it's a divisional game. It's your biggest rival. It's at the Link, and it's for a playoff spot. It's to keep the playoff dreams alive. So it is a big game. But my point is, if he scores 30-something points and they lose, what's he supposed to do? Score 42, 49, 50? Is it on him to do that? I don't think that that's totally fair. Once again, he needs to play well. He needs to continue this hot streak that he's on. But you got to factor in the weapons. When you logically break this down, and then the Eagles are going into a game with Greg Ward, and that's your one receiver who caught balls last week, it's crazy. Now, I know Miles Sanders has been really effective, and he's been shocking people left and right, and he looks super good. Well, there's a way to implement that. It comes down really to Doug Pederson versus Jason Garrett. How about that? Now, I would say that Doug Pederson is a better coach, even though we've been ripping him apart all season long for not being his best. But you look at the numbers, Jason Garrett has beat Doug Pederson multiple times. Doug Peterson's going to have to game plan with these weapons. He's going to have to be creative. Boston Scott, Miles Sanders, the tight ends. He's going to have to outcoach Jason Garrett. Now, there are some questionable players. Are they going to play or are they not going to play? And the term that Doug Pederson loves to throw around is they are trending in the right direction. We've been hearing it for so long. It's so frustrating every week. Jordan Howard, he's trending in the right direction. So is Nelson Aguilar. My question is, if those two are ready to go, if those two are ready to rock and roll, do you put him in the lineup? Jordan Howard was a beast when he was healthy. He hasn't played in a bunch of weeks. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. It could maybe be both at the same time, believe it or not. One, because he could be well rested and ready to be shot out of a cannon. But two, rust, maybe not in shape, things like that. But anyway, my point is, do you put them in the lineup after you see this team flowing well over the last 2 weeks? Do you try and mess things up, is what I'm getting at here. What are the odds that it messes up the flow of this offense? Would you play Nelson Aguilar? Let's start there. Here's the thing. Robert Davis, right? He wasn't doing anything. Can Greg Ward be effective not in the slot? I know Nelson Aguilar can't, but he can be effective in the slot. When you have no other options, do you put it out there? Or is there value in, even though they're not nearly as talented, I guess you would say, or fast or experienced as Nelson Aguilar, they're willing, they want to. It's easy to say, screw him, get him out of here, he doesn't want to be here. But if he's available, looking at what the alternative is, which is a Robert Davis, do you put Nelson Aguilar out there? I don't know the answer. It's a really tough decision. I would lean towards putting the ball in his hands at certain times. For example, if he is healthy, a wide receiver screen or a jet sweep or something of that nature, we can just give Nelson Aguilar the ball and let him run. Let him run. I've seen him make plays in the slot. He can't track a ball to save his life. You can't put him on the outside. If you continue to put him on the outside, he's not going to help this team. I think I would implement him in the game plan if he was healthy, because the alternative is crap. But, we'll see how this coaching staff elects to do it. Going to Jordan Howard, even though Miles Sanders and Boston Scott have been phenomenal, yeah, absolutely, I pound the rock with him and he goes in there. That's not even a question. But to be honest with you, heading in the right direction, I don't know what that means. I've heard it so many times and it meant nothing. So, and listen, it's only Tuesday. We have so much more time until we figure out everything. Doug Pederson gave the guys off, gave them a break. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? This is Dallas week. Let's go. You got to be mentally prepared. But physically, is it nice to have the day off at the same time to keep them fresh? There's two ways to look at it. As you saw against the Redskins, and I understand it's just the Redskins, but running the football works. Running the football is effective. This team wins games when they run the football. Don't they see that? Don't they have an analytical team that shows pounding the rock works? And let's be real. Zeke murders the Eagles. If you want to stack the box, which I would assume that Jim Schwartz will do that, right? And keep some of those cornerbacks in a position where they can get torched. What do you think they're going to do? The Dallas Cowboys. What do you think they're going to do? If Zeke isn't effective, which I highly doubt he will be not effective at all, if he's not and they decide to throw the ball, Dak and Amari Cooper and those guys, they're going to have a field day, and that's why I don't feel very good about this game. One, Zeke is going to abuse them no matter if they stack the box or not, and if the Eagles find a way to somehow actually stop him, which I don't think is going to happen, they're going to abuse the secondary. The way that they've been passing the ball this year has been so solid. I don't feel good about it. And that doesn't make me a bad fan. These are logical reasons. I want them to win. I think that there's a chance that they can win. They're at home. Both teams are 7-7 for a reason. The same squad that played the Rams is not the same squad that played the Jets when talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So what Dallas Cowboys team is going to come out and play? The thing is, they're coming off momentum. They're coming off of that really hot game, that beatdown against the Rams, but they were at home. It's a different atmosphere. They have the fans behind them. They were juiced up. But there's no doubt in my mind they're going to come in with confidence based off of the way that they played at home. It's something we've been looking for all season long. This game will be huge. And here it is. It's for a playoff spot. I want to see what Carson Wentz is made out of. He's heard a bunch of criticism this year. He's had some bad games. He's had some good games. He put together some really nice drives late in fourth quarters and in overtime over the last few weeks. He has players that are playing for him that believe in him, that are coming off the practice squad. That the story's great, right? There's flow in the offense. There's something there. What type of player is he? And these are the type of moments that we want to see out of Carson Wentz. What is he made out of? It's a big test. He hasn't really been able to play this deep into seasons. It's nice to see him do that. Will he be able to execute that? Will he be able to make it happen? You can't not counter in, though, the fact that he has one wide receiver who makes catches, and he's coming off the practice squad, and he has a rookie running back, and Boston Scott, too, right? So Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and the only two legit positions are the two tight end slots, and really just one with Zach Ertz. So it's crazy to even think where the Eagles are, because you got to be honest with yourself. The Dallas Cowboys have a better roster. They have better talent. So it's crazy to think they're 7-7. It really is. So we will be talking about this all week long. Every day I wake up and I think about that game. I haven't felt that way for a long time with this team. Maybe it's because over the last few weeks it's been slop. The Dolphins, the Giants, the Redskins. When they were playing those tough teams every single week, they had, who did they have? They went on that tough 3-game skid. Minnesota, Dallas, Buffalo. Then they had the Seahawks, the Patriots. When they went through that every week, I was so juiced. I was so amped up. I was so ready to go. I haven't had that feeling in a while. I have that. Now it's because, one, the talent and who they're playing against and just the logo itself. And it's because the playoffs. And it's coming down to the late part of the season. So I understand both of that. But here we go. Here we go. Who's going to step up? What are we going to learn? I'm going to go crazy. I haven't had the butterflies for an Eagles game in a while, and I have them right now. So, as I stated, we will be talking about this all week long, as we should. It is a hot topic. Carson Wentz is the storyline. So is Doug Pederson. We'll see how the health of this team goes moving forward throughout the week. Lane Johnson is also somebody that needs to be discussed. Derek Barnett, will he be back in the mix? Because this defense needs to play well. We need pressure. We need pressure. We haven't had pressure. We couldn't even get pressure against the Washington Redskins. I mean, that's a sick joke. That's what that is. It is a sick joke. Where has Fletcher Cox been all season long? I mean, I love Fletch. I really do. Where has he been all season long? Derek Barnett, he's getting injured again all throughout this season. Can he stay healthy? We need pressure. And we need to be able to stop their weapons because they have those weapons. I'll tell you one thing I know, though. The link will be unbelievable. Unless it gets so ugly like it did against the New York Giants where everyone boos, freaks out, gets so loud. Those boos at half against the Giants might have been the loudest boos I've heard in a long time at the Link. And it's funny, last year I went to the night game against the Dallas Cowboys. I actually, did I end up getting it for Christmas? I think my parents got me the tickets. I went with my cousin for Christmas. And they were expensive tickets now. I mean, and I was all the way up in the nosebleeds with all the drunk jerk-off screaming, going crazy. I was one of them, but I was up top, and they were expensive seats. They looked bad. They lost. I was so pissed, so frustrated, so annoyed. I remember that feeling walking out of the Link. I remember the feeling just being around all of those fans up top. This week, it's totally different. It was huge then, don't get me wrong, but with the way the playoffs are on the line, the season's on the line, with all of the discussions with Carson and Doug and just the disappointment, because if you remember, we were supposed to win the Super Bowl this year, and now we're 7-7, hoping to squeak into the playoffs in a bad division, right? So with all the disappointment, here we go. Here we have a chance at home to beat the Cowboys, and we struggle against the Cowboys. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like if it's a game where the Eagles score three points at half, or they look awful, or the defense gets abused. I'm just thinking about how disappointed everyone's going to be. Or, see, I hate how my mind works. I always think negatively at times. Because I mentioned this before. I mentioned when I was doing one of my Sixers discussions. Oh, they're on this 5-game win streak, and I look ahead at their schedule, who they're going to play. Well, they're due for a loss at some point, right? And, of course, they end up having a stinker against the Brooklyn Nets on Sunday night. So my mind always thinks that way, right? Oh, well, how are the fans going to feel? They're going to feel negative if it doesn't look so good. But what about if it looks great? What about if it looks phenomenal? What about if the offense is flowing and the defense is consistently getting 3 and outs and making Dak Prescott move around in the pocket and getting sacked? Now, here's the counter argument. We haven't seen that all year. So there's no reason to think that will happen. You can hope that it happens. You can pray that it happens. But there's no reason for me to think it will because I haven't seen it. There was one game where this team got going to the quarterback, and that was against the stinking Jets at the time where they had nobody playing at quarterback. Folk, was it? What was that guy's name? Folk? I don't even remember. My point is this. This is a big game. This is a big game. That's my point. This is a big game. Shocker. Not just a shocker. Is that a hot take? This is a big game? Hot take, bros? I can't wait to see it play out. I can't wait for the anticipation of it. Like, you know how sometimes the anticipation for something is what makes it that great? That's where I'm at right now. And you can tell because as I stated, when I talk about the Eagles, by Tuesday, it's still the discussion of what occurred on Sunday. It's still talking about, the explosive game by Miles Sanders and whatnot, or the poor game by J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and don't even get me started. I can't stand it. I just watched Michael Thomas on Monday Night Football making all these one-handed catches, going for 100-plus something yards, and I know that there's not a ton of Michael Thomases out there. He is a rare breed, but J.J. Arcega-Whiteside stinks. He stinks. He's horrendous. I can't stand him. I can't even stand looking at him. He's a hate the face to me right now. He is Nick Pavetta. I'm telling you, he's Nick Pavetta. I have so many Nick Pavetta comparisons in this city right now. One is Joel Farabee on the Flyers. And two is Sidney Jones and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. We have 2 Nick Pavettas on the Eagles. Ew. Oh, no. Stop. That's disgusting. It's disgusting. But anyway, going back to my point. What was my point? I think it had something to do with, the anticipation. That's right. Normally, I still talk about what happened on Sunday right now, and I don't look ahead until that Wednesday, Thursday feel. I even thought about it Monday, but I didn't want to get to the extreme. You still need to break down the Redskins game, process the Redskins game, but it is a quick flip this week. There's no denying it. I wonder how Cowboys fans feel. How do they feel? Considering their success against us recently, I would assume they feel good. Knowing what we know, right? I mean, let's not be oblivious here. Knowing what we know, they have the better team. They have the better talent. Do they have the better coach? Probably not, no. But it comes down to one game. Both are 7-7 for a reason. What team shows up to play? I love it. I can't wait. sometimes when I watch these hype videos for moments like this, I get the chills. I start to cry almost. Because I remember what it's like being an athlete where you come out of not the tunnel when I played college hockey. It was more of, coming out of the locker room onto the ice. But that hype feeling, that locker room feeling, that anticipation before the game starts. So in college hockey, you play Friday, Saturday nights, 7 o'clock for the most part. Well, it's noon. It's 11 a.m. You're having your coffee. You're ready to go mentally. You're listening to music. It's that hype feeling, knowing what it's going to be like when you're out there on the ice. I can't imagine what these players are going through. I can't imagine how hyped they are every single day. They think, we think we are hype. What about them? What do you think Miles Sanders, Carson Wentz, Andre Dillard, what do you think they're thinking about? Or, unless, I don't know. Some guys can shut it off. Some guys can shut off their professional life when they're at home, and that could be a positive. That doesn't mean it's a negative thing. You need to have balance. You need to have real life and football. But I'll tell you what, for a game like this, it's probably all football. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? It's not like anyone's sitting at home and not thinking about this game. I can't imagine, because us fans and even me, what? That's all I think about. I walk my dog, Dallas Cowboys, Eagles on Sunday. I go to the bathroom. What am I thinking about? Eagles, Cowboys. I'm in the shower. Eagles, Cowboys. I'm at school. Eagles, Cowboys. I'm driving somewhere. Wawa. Get a coffee. I don't know. Eagles, Cowboys. That's what it's all about. That's all it's all about. So I can't imagine no one's, that everyone's somewhat trying to shut it off. The link is going to be electric. It's going to be unbelievable. I thought about maybe buying tickets, but I might sit this one out. I don't know if I can emotionally handle it in real life or not. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. I will see you next time.